welcome to this talk powered by Towards Customer Association. My name is Sandra, and the topic that we are going to tackle today is sustainable experiences and sustainable businesses. As recent researches show, there are more and more customers gravitating towards sustainable businesses, meaning that they want to purchase from companies who make a difference. And I'm so glad to welcome my guest today, Edita Kemzūraitė, who is the certified business sustainability manager, also professional project manager who works for quite many years for Bentley Systems, and who also organizes the largest conference in the Baltics specifically dedicated to project management topic. Welcome, Edita.
Thank you, Sandra. Hello, everyone. It's really important for me personally to be here in such a customer-oriented environment. And congratulations with your great initiative indeed, because I guess businesses always seek to bring more and more value for customers. So short about myself, as you mentioned, I am IT project manager at Bentley Systems for quite a while. It will be 15 years. So really sustainable and long-lasting relationship here. Here I work as a practitioner and focusing on the best practices. And I am really proud to take sustainability ambassador's role at my company because together with our clients, with our partners, we think how to absorb sustainability culture and represent it in the best way for our customers, as I said, and for our employees. And, you know, in the bridge conference context, sometimes myself, I feel like customer experience or even service manager, because as you might imagine, it is really important for our success to bring good quality and rich content and to think about what is useful for our conference.
I'm really fascinated with what you are doing in general in your all professional backgrounds. And as we talked before this conversation, it seems that many businesses now are massively moving not only through the transition of digitalization, but also through the green transition. So let's start our conversation with a very fundamental question. There is a business case for being a sustainable business. What are those key factors that influence this massive movement towards sustainability? So what's your view on that?
Well, you started with such a wonderful question, Sandra, but first maybe I will encourage to think about the definition itself of sustainability. And it brings us to 1987 when a body of United Nations defined sustainability as needs of the present to meet our needs without compromising the needs of future generations. So in other words, businesses need to act without harming our planet. If we think about traditional business models, usually they are customer-oriented and customer value-oriented, which is really good thing indeed. But you know, important aspect here that usually traditional businesses forget the reference to sustainability. Therefore, if we think about sustainable business models, they are a bit different. They are oriented to shared value, how to create social, environmental, and economic impact, which we call like 3P: people, planet, and profit.
Mm-hmm. So it's a very interesting context that you are bringing. Could you elaborate more on this 3P? What does it practically mean for companies?
Absolutely, of course, it needs explanation. So first P is people. It's about our precious treasure. It's about our employees, customers, stakeholders, relationships, basically thinking about us as a community, as a whole. Planet is encouragement for companies and businesses to start measuring the impact. And most importantly, starting with this negative one and trying to reduce our environmental footprint, which is harming our planet. And last but not least, profit. It's about economic values. Because in long-term perspective, sustainable business also needs to make sure that we have quality of life. It doesn't mean that, living sustainable, we should really avoid our quality. So it's really profit-oriented as well.
How do you see this kind of push from the market? So how much you see that customers emphasize this element of sustainability in their decisions, purchasing decisions, what brand, what company to purchase from? So have you seen some strong proofs for that?
Well, indeed, sustainability is making impact and strong impact to customer choice. So I remember one survey conducted by IBM in 2021. The survey shows that 57% of customers are willing to change their behavior in order to reduce negative impact for environment. Another one, around 60% of customers are even willing to pay more for sustainable products. Even more interestingly, recent research as joint effort by McKinsey and Nielsen IQ, they found that companies that add environmental, social, and governance claims, they experience bigger cumulative growth over 5 years period. So in comparison, if companies with ESG claims experience 28% of the cumulative growth, and companies that do not pay attention to, social or environmental aspect and added claims, they achieved only 20% of cumulating growth. Looking at this, it brings us insights that even growth might be associated to social and environmental ability. So companies do not need to balance anymore, between profit and ESG claims. It means that in a long-term period, they can think how to get their healthier finance performance, and it means healthier planet as well. Another perspective by younger generation, because they truly think about sustainability, and millennials and Gen Z willing to pay more again for sustainable actions. I really liked one perspective shared in a video prepared by one of the well-known NGO, World Wildlife Nature Fund. In this video, the researcher was comparing how millennials think and traditional businesses might react. So if we ask what is the purpose of business to some older generation employee, perhaps you would get answer to make money. And by research, around 47% of millennials answering to the same question would say that social value and environmental impact reduction would be a part of business purpose. So it's really different perspective. And if businesses would like to get customers from millennials, Gen Z generations, absolutely they would need to have this narrative of their sustainability practices, and also impact stories that would be proved with real data, because without proof it doesn't mean that the company is sustainable itself.
It's a very interesting perspective you are bringing, and I believe this goes not only for purchasing decisions for those young generation, but also for employer preferences. Probably
Absolutely.
we could see the same trend, the same link in that direction.
it's giving the pressure for CEOs, for example, and another survey in 2023, the CXO sustainability report is showing that companies are feeling more and more pressure from multiple stakeholders to act more on climate change actions, trying to mitigate the global risk. For example, the numbers are showing that more than 60% of CXOs are feeling the pressure from employees, and similar percentage is the pressure from customers as well.
There are so many layers within this concept of being sustainable business. We can talk about sustainable products, sustainable investment, sustainable employer concept, and these elements are more or less familiar to many of us. However, this element of sustainable project management, your topic you are in very much, is a kind of new school of thought. So could you tell more about this, what this sustainable project management stands for? So maybe bring some examples.
From big picture perspective, it's including or thinking about those multiple layers, as you mentioned, sustainable production, sustainable customer, and all the stakeholders under project management umbrella, which means we get extra complexity and extra things to track. And the most important difference here is to think about impact again, because companies are getting more and more pressure to measure their carbon footprint, to provide results and submit it globally. So therefore, project managers need to be ready for the change and need to include the impact analysis in the very early stage of each project that would be called as sustainable, and be able to measure all three aspects: environmental, social, and economic aspects. So having those numbers to prove, we can say we have our narrative, we have our sustainability practice story, and we can share true project outcomes. So very simple examples. It brings us back to 1995 when bike sharing program was announced in Copenhagen, the initiative which basically united, connected city residents to become a healthier community and use bicycles as one of the main transportation. Of course, it's good for our planet and it's reducing carbon, and we can get less car accidents and things like that. But if you think at this case as a project manager, perhaps it required also behavior change as well, and training those employees, why they need to choose bicycle and why we need the change overall. So it also additional layers and thinking about the whole process, how each bits and pieces are interconnected. Because sustainability itself, it's a complex system where everything is interrelated. Another example I would like to share, maybe from Lithuania, what our company, Bentley System, has for empowering sustainability through our customer solutions. So we have a technology called iTwin platform that is taking a critical part in our strategy. And it's our open, scalable, purpose-built cloud platform for developing infrastructure digital twin. And we call it like iTwin platform. With this platform, it allows developers to build applications to solve data integration challenges, for example, visualize, track changes, and create insights and reports on complex infrastructure assets. So using these technologies, Kaunas University of Technology team created a really powerful digital twin of Kaunas University campus, basically for optimizing their indoor climate, for reducing power used in the buildings, and for reducing energy consumption with this, which is really critical. And I'm really proud of that project because it's open for citizens to go and analyze, visualize the situation and think how we could improve our infrastructure. I am also very proud because this project was even nominated as one of the finalists in our digital awards conducted by Bentley System. Each year we have events where we recognize these infrastructure professionals who wants to build better infrastructure. And we from our side, we encourage to build infrastructure better as well, because we seek for resilience and sustainability.
It's amazing how through your sustainable projects, you can help others to be more sustainable. So it's like the whole value chain.
Yes, the power
rolls out
of enabling our customers and getting their perspective and providing the right technologies to work more effectively and efficiently, which is also in long term, it brings extra value. And we can get back to this case of sustainability here, because if we have the technologies, the right technologies, it can save money, it can save time, improve the whole life cycle and supply chain in each stages of the life cycle. There are also multiple compelling business cases. I would say we can increase companies' brand and reputation by providing practices that prove sustainability. And if we enable this forward-looking perspective, there will be more and more regulations. And it is really important for each company to stay ahead, to think how they can adopt sustainability practices. And with that, they will be ready for regulations to submit all the information, and they can avoid, some threatening penalties that might be related if we don't make enough, for our planet's prosperity.
Good that you started bringing us to this marketing aspect that I also wanted to tackle with you today. So it seems that this message of sustainability becomes a kind of quite often used and sometimes abused message in marketing communications that many companies are using to strengthen brand, to strengthen reputation. We even have a special term for that as greenwashing, yes? So, and it comes together with this positive and negative aspects, yes, meaning all this growing skepticism from consumers for some green claims of some companies. Also, as you mentioned, those companies being fined for lacking proofs for their green claims. So how do you see this marketing aspect? Where do you see opportunities and risks for that?
Yeah, so as you said, there are two aspects, and maybe I would like to start from positive potential impact, because I see that marketing can be a really great influencer and big game changer in this behavior changing perspective. If we create a true narrative about, let's say, a story that 2/3 of my neighbors are already using renewable energy. So I guess as a responsible citizen, I would also think it's time to make a change in my personal life and my personal choice as well, right? So it can highlight the most important aspects where we should be focusing if we want to be more socially and environmentally responsible. From another perspective, of course, we always need to be careful when publishing those narratives if they don't have enough evidence to prove. It reminds me about one really powerful article where Professor Ricardo Viana Vargas was explaining how ESG is killing marketing. The problem is that some companies taking care only to environmental aspect of it. But to be honest, the true sustainability comes when we really think about all the aspects, environmental, social, and governance. It's not only about environmental issues. We also, as a company, need to be thinking how to support the whole society and bring not only monetary value to our business, but also how to create jobs, how to support local and small businesses. If we don't have the right narrative, we could get claimed. There are many regulations as well, and EU, for example, already started screening those greenwashing cases. And if you, for example, got some funding for being more sustainable, for bringing up the practices of sustainability, but you don't have the right data to prove it, your funding might be removed. The facts show that 50% of the cases actually don't have enough information to support their cases. So there is still a lot of room for improvements, and it's really important to be transparent in this case. To be honest, I think that marketing strategy can be only successful if it's very well aligned with the company's sustainability purpose, practices, and the marketing person has enough knowledge, to rely it to global sustainability challenges and to reveal the company's purpose in the best case. So it requires working hand in hand with the company CEO and with the whole ecosystem, and partnering a lot with other marketers to make sure it's transparent.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that if doing this right, I mean, doing this as a kind of principle of business, could it become a kind of competitive differentiator?
Absolutely, I have no doubt about this, because there are already existing multiple incentives actually supporting such businesses that are driving sustainable practices, that are trying to be like first movers. Example of that would be like responsible investment promoted by United Nations, and changing prices. For example, if we think about carbon energy versus renewable energy, right? But here I would like to bring also perspective about the change, because sustainable technologies usually require not only digital transformation, but also business transformation, rewiring economy, because we should start thinking in this circular economy manner when everything is interrelated. I really love interview and insights shared by Donut Economy introducer, Kate Raworth, who actually created this concept to adopt current challenges and global risks related to sustainability. And she said that we should be able to make sure that waste in one process become food in another. And actually, even more surprising, there is no such thing as waste, it's just resource used in a wrong way. So therefore, there are many compelling and competitive technologies who can help to support this concept of circular economy. I am proud that Bentley is one of them, because in our case with iTwin platform and other technologies, we have services that can help our users basically in each case of the supply chain, we can help our customers to improve, for example, their water cycle. Like we have a great case from our customers in Brazil. They were able to reduce their water scarcity issue in drought times and improve the process overall and reduce cost. So these numbers are really inspiring, and just by using technologies like a twin platform, hydraulic modeling, the true change might happen.
Brilliant examples you are bringing here, Edita. So I wanted to ask, of course, about this execution piece a little bit. So how to bring the mindset of sustainability across organization, across all layers, across the whole value chain, as we just shared as an example. I believe that you at Bentley Systems, you have a very great example here. So it seems that sustainability is a kind of DNA of your company. So how to bring this for the long-term success, not as a short marketing campaign, but as long-term value creation. So what could be the operating model for that?
Sustainability is really a core value of our business for almost 40 years. As a responsible company, of course, we are taking care of our impact, and we want to be more efficient in terms of our energy consumption and reducing waste and track our greenhouse gas emissions. But from other perspective, we want to focus on bigger impact. And we believe that bigger impact can come from our users, because we enable them not only to make better infrastructure with the right technology, but also to try to make infrastructure better, which would be more sustainable and more resilient. Therefore, iTwin platform, as I already mentioned, is our main driver and enabler for the change. From other perspective, sustainability is nothing that can be achieved in a very short term. About 70% of transformations might fail if the change is not well thought and not everyone is educated in such directions. Therefore, at Bentley System, we started our strategy called ESDG, which is our one of the most strategic priority for this decade. We believe that with our technologies, we can enable our users to achieve sustainable development goals, which means SDG acronym. And with having that perspective, our users can achieve the three components, basically social, economic, and environmental, which means ESG. So the acronym combined of these two words means ESDG. And we are happy that we have a great thought leader, our ESDG director, Rodrigo Fernandez, who is driving this strategy together with 26 ambassadors, our precious asset, our employees. Each month we have Together Towards Tomorrow sessions that are oriented basically to reveal the global challenges and also to think about solutions, what we currently have created together with our user projects and what impact they are already making for our society, for our environment, and our economics as well. So with this broader perspective, we would like to pay attention to the needs of being educated, to have training sessions aligned with our sustainability strategy. So Together Towards Tomorrow is one of the initiatives that is brought for our company, and every time we learn a lot, and it's connecting us as a sustainable society, and that is driving sustainability culture between our colleagues and between our clients and also the whole ecosystem.
It's a wonderful example of empowering, including your people into all this mindset creation. To conclude our conversation, I wanted to ask about this relatively new role of business sustainability manager, which is a kind of on the fly in the market already. So what's your view? What should be the key responsibilities of people working in this role? What they should be starting first to tackle?
The key responsibility of sustainability manager, first of all, is like overseeing the existing and future sustainability initiatives, programs in the whole company, building basically ecosystem collaboration, because there is no single entity that can solve all the related risks and challenges as alone. Therefore, sustainable manager needs to be aware of those challenges first of all, and needs to be proactive and seek for the ecosystem collaboration and create joint efforts that could make the bigger impact. So therefore, I think one of the most important responsibilities should be to take this holistic and more future-oriented view, and of course represent sustainability culture to make sure that each practices we have are transparent. From my own perspective, I guess it is really important for sustainability manager to be good change manager or change agent, because each similar initiative usually requires transformation. So absolutely, the person needs to be a good communicator, good contributor, and of course, stakeholders management also is playing a key role.
It's a lot about change management, of course. And talking about those changes, transformation, what are the most precious changes that you personally led within all your professional area?
I think that every change we bring, either as a sustainability ambassador at my company or in the concept of bridge conference, I think we should start from our own perspective and show, some examples how we can be active as those change agents. So I always believed in the power of building communities and that together we really can achieve more. So therefore, as a sustainability ambassador at Bentley Systems, I admire to moderate each of the session that helps to bring the right awareness, first of all, for our colleagues, and to be able to recognize what are the threatening points, what are the challenges, and also what we as a company are doing towards sustainability, what impact we can make as a community. In the concept of the conference, again, my passion is to connect different project managers and to make them ready for the future, especially ready for coming social impact related projects, for those regulations, and it levels up and it inspires, to be those continue learners and to improve our skills of decision making, of risks management, and other related skills that might be included under this umbrella of sustainability.
Thank you, Edita. Thank you for bringing all your passion for this topic into this conversation today. I really admire people who strongly stands for something they truly believe into, and definitely you are one of those people. So thank you, Edita, for being here.
Thank you for having me, Sandra. For concluding our conversation, I just wanted to share the thoughts of one person who really inspires me, Sir David Attenborough, one of the most famous biologists and TV reporters, who said that the nature determined how we survived once. And now we determine how the nature survives. So therefore, I would like to use opportunity and say that, the time for action is now, and we cannot wait any longer.
Of course. Thank you, Edita.